As we've explained in previous videos, Christ-centered leaders have a lot to think about. They simultaneously maintain relationships with God and God's children while shouldering responsibility for themselves and their stewardships. Each of these relationships and responsibilities make demands on a leader's time, energy, and decisions. A key challenge of leadership is determining how to manage and balance the inherent tensions between these demands. Jesus Christ addressed these tensions frequently in his ministry. For instance, one common tension is how we balance the demands of our stewardship with the demands of God's individual children. In parable, Jesus taught that a good shepherd, who has a stewardship for an entire flock, will sometimes need to leave the 99 and go in search of the one. Similarly, after his resurrection, Jesus had stewardship for countless people in his flock who were mourning him and longing for his company. But Jesus chose to spend individual time with Mary Magdalene before revealing himself to others. It's a common tension for Christ-centered leaders to feel pulled between the needs of individuals they serve and their larger group and organizational demands. Sometimes we too need to leave the 99 to focus on the one, but we have to exercise good judgment to ensure that we don't neglect our larger stewardship responsibilities. Jesus taught about other tensions as well. When he instructed the Pharisees to render unto Caesar the things which are Caesar's and unto God the things which are God's, he was recognizing that we have to maintain our covenant relationship with God at the same time as we honor our worldly stewardships, which include abiding by laws and regulations. Jesus also taught that in our service to others, we are not to run faster than we have strength. This points to a tension between our responsibility to God's children and our responsibility to ourselves. Christ-centered leaders wisely balance their capacity to give with their need to maintain personal well-being. The Savior's doctrine of spiritual gifts also teaches us that we are each equipped to render some types of service better than others. Christ-centered leaders exercise good judgment about which needs they are best equipped to address. One of the most important tensions that Christ-centered leaders face is when the demands of stewardship or God's children conflict with our covenant relationship with God. We might be asked by a supervisor or someone else in power to act in ways that are inconsistent with God's will. Or one of God's children may seek our help in ways that are inconsistent with God's commandments. We also might sometimes experience tension between self and God when we discover that our own desires are not aligned with the covenants we have made. Identifying these tensions and seeking wisdom in how to respond to them is the crucible of moral and ethical leadership. Responding to these tensions can result in our greatest successes as Christ-centered leaders. Mismanaging them can lead to sorrow and failure for ourselves and those we lead. Fortunately, the Savior did not leave us alone in learning how to navigate these tensions. In the next video, we will introduce 3 enduring principles that he demonstrated throughout his ministry. When we focus on upholding these 3 principles, we can lead like the Savior does as we face the inevitable tensions of leadership.